I wanted to take my guitar, throw it out the window, and if I heard one more blues lick, that would have been it. Christmas morning, 1992, under the tree, there it is, my first electric guitar. It was an Aria Pro 2 Mad Axe with an amp. I loved that thing. At the time, I was really into classic rock bands like Pink Floyd, Dire Straits, Aerosmith. I still remember the feeling of unwrapping that first guitar. It was magical. There was a problem though. I didn't really know how to play that thing. I knew a couple chords. I think I knew E minor and C major. You can only go so far with that. And so I asked my older cousin, Julian, who had been playing for a while, to show me a few things. What Julian showed me that day completely changed my life as a musician. Julian showed me the minor pentatonic scale. I'm sure you can all relate to this, but when I first heard the sound of that scale coming out of my guitar, I thought, I can conquer the world. I can do anything I want. And a lot of that was actually true because that minor pentatonic scale was the key that unlocked my ability to replicate pretty much any song I grew up loving. So I would spend hours jamming with my guitar with that single minor pentatonic scale position over and over and over, and I loved it. Shortly after that, I started a band. At the time, we were called Silmarils. I know, it's not super catchy, but it was just such an awesome experience. My brother, John Mark, was on bass. Our friend Oliver was on drums. Jalali was the other guitar player. We had so much fun in Oliver's shed in his backyard practicing hours and hours and hours. Now, that band lasted quite a few years. We wrote countless songs using that minor pentatonic scale. We went through names. We discovered that Silmarils was maybe not the best name for a band, so we went through other phases. Fairwen, Glowin. Yes, we were big fans of J.R.R. Tolkien. But then something happened. I was on my way to rehearsal and realized that I didn't have that spark. I didn't have that excitement anymore. I realized that I was very bored with my playing. Looking back, I understand why. Everything I played with that minor pentatonic scale was exactly the same thing, no matter the song. I made it through rehearsal that day. But when I got back home, I sat on my bed, put my guitar on the floor, and that's when it hit me. I was done. I was done with music. I wanted to take my guitar, throw it out the window, and if I heard one more blues lick, that would have been it. The next day, I called Oliver and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. I quit. I didn't pick up my guitar for about 2 years. I hated music. I couldn't stand blues. But then I heard this music in the background at a friend's party. The music caught my attention because although it was definitely blues orientated and I could recognize the pentatonic scale that I first loved and then despised, it was different. The music was interesting, fresh, intricate, melodic, and yet with that very recognizable, simple 5-note scale. The song was Emerald Eyes by Eric Johnson from the album Tones. And so I asked myself, what is the difference between Eric's playing and my playing? We're using the same scale. And so I did something that I hadn't done in 2 years. I picked up my guitar and started figuring things out. I wanted to discover the main difference between Eric's playing and my playing, besides the obvious technical proficiency that Eric had. And I discovered that the main difference was at the core of my frustration with music. See, when I was playing with my band, I would use the minor pentatonic scale as a canvas. I knew that every note would work fine, and I just let my fingers go up and down the scale, playing licks, having confidence that these notes would work well with what was going on in the back. And that created habits, and with these habits, I started feeling disengaged with the music. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. I didn't really care about chord changes because I knew that whatever I would play with the minor pentatonic scale would work with these chords. When Eric played, he was fully aware of each notes of the chords that he was playing over. Sure, Eric could use the same exact scale over and over and it would work fine. But there was a big difference though, because when you're fully aware of each chords, you could start using some of the notes of the chord within your minor pentatonic scale to enrich your solos and sound like you are fully engaged with the process, playing with the band instead of using the band as a backing track and you are above it and you're just cruising along. See, this is kind of how I was playing. I wasn't really following the details of the music. I was just drawing a line across, knowing that it would work. As opposed to this, where I would follow the details. It's more work, it's more intricate, but the experience is so much more enjoyable because now you're participating to the music. This is really what I should have been doing all along, following the chords, following the details of the song, participating to the musical experience. Now, ever since that day, I've made peace with the minor pentatonic scale, and I love it. I love blues, I love rock, I love all kinds of music, and it's really a matter of perception. Instead of being here and playing over this, I'm fully immersed with the process, and that's what I think you should do too. Watch this video if you've ever felt the same way I did many years ago. In this video, I will teach you how to play the blues in a different way. You really feel connected with what you're playing. Click on this, I'll meet you right there.